Live.
We are live.
We are live.
Pod feet.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, chat room.
I don't know if I'm going to keep these. I have new headphones on today. They are called the Me Professional, M-E-E, Professional In-Ear Monitors.
And it turns out they're not that professional.
Well, if you shove them all the way in...
and you keep your fingers like this.
Like this, they sound really good. And as soon as you let go, it sounds like you're talking through a tin can.
Because all professionals do this, right? This is
right.
This is the move.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hello, Kevin.
See. 40-second delay, Sandy says.
Yeah, it's a slow one. I guess YouTube's busy tonight.
So, we have a new baby in the house here. I am going to... Oh, I thought I downloaded this one too. Hang on. I got to bring it in. I'm not going to do a review of this, but Steve Sheridan did something insane. Actually, let me... I'm going to have to airdrop the photo to myself. Actually, do you want to post it, Steve? Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Oh, the photo?
Yeah. Oh, it's probably back in time here. That's what's wrong.
I can get it.
Yep. No, I got it.
You got it? All right.
Yeah. So, well, actually, I'm going to start with this one. This is what Steve did.
What did Steve do? Oh.
What did Steve do?
Merry Christmas, Pod Feet.
Yep, Steve did something insane.
Well, I figured you spend probably more time than anyone else I know at your display, that you probably get the use out of it.
Well, it'll get well used, that's for sure.
Well, you're not a graphic designer or a video editor, but you still appreciate good quality video or good quality imagery and screen.
and giant screen.
And giant. And actually, the
to-
real estate is pretty good. Lindsay.
All right. Lindsay's late. She brought the beers. But to give you an idea of how big this display is, we took a good picture of it.
That's the biggest iPhone I've ever seen. It is pretty cool how that thing pivots so easily. Rotates
Yeah.
90.
This thing is nuts. This thing is absolutely nuts. It is huge. I think the whole reason Steve did it, though, was because I gave him my
LG.
my LG 5K display. So he now has two 5K displays. So you have 10K.
Yeah, I'm noticing my processor load is a little bit more, but it's still, manageable. It's only about 80% now, so that's not bad.
Oh, Alan is reminding us that we have not done roll call.
Thank you,
I
Alan.
apologize, Alan. I jump right into having some fun. Let's see. We have Brett and Kevin and Frank and Jill and John and Mike and Rick and Sandy and Steve. And, of course, we've got, let's see, I already said John. We got Rose and Mike. And where is Alan in the list? I know you're here because you're talking, but I don't see you anywhere.
That is weird. I don't see him in the list either. He snuck in somehow.
Are you listening, Alan? And don't forget Lindsay. Lindsay, the daughter, but I don't see her. Oh, there she is. Hi, Lindsay. There you are. And Jill. I missed you. Oh, I got Jill twice. And Lindsay, the daughter. Where is, I don't know.
Maybe
where
he's
Alan
coming
is.
in as a Titan bot.
He might be a Titan bot. That's probably what he is. Well, good to see you, everybody.
Welcome.
So, I want to show you another cool thing I got. This is
and
show and
Rose.
tell for
Did you call
Allison.
out Rose?
I did.
Okay, good.
Check this out, though. This is the coolest thing. Kyle and Nikki got me a disassembled iPhone 4S. Actually, I
Nice.
could have brought that in to do show and tell here.
It's pretty cool.
Isn't that nifty? So, let's see if I can show this. I'm going to mess up my camera here. Let's see. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I might have it zip-tied. Hang on.
That's a good view.
Where's the nose?
Right up the nose, yeah.
That looks like the video. Hang on. We're going to stand that straight up for a second. That looks like the video that my granddaughter, Sienna, did for me this week.
That's some high quality video.
Hang on. Give me a second. There's up my sleeve. It's Velcroed. It's too short. There we go. So, oh, for the love of Pete.
You okay,
Oh,
Al?
wires get tangled? This is tangled across the... Oh, good grief. I should have thought this out ahead of time.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Oh,
I'm gonna
boy.
knock my water glass over in a minute.
Something's going down. I just hope it's not the display.
Yeah, really. Oh my gosh, this thing is so tangled. I can't do it.
Is it worth it?
Well, it better be now. Do we want up the nose pictures? Yes, we do. I forgot. This is broadcasting, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And recording.
Oh, come on. All right,
Now-
maybe that's far. I can't get far enough back to show. I can't get far enough away.
Yeah, you got it. You got it in there.
But that's I have everything all on the monitor now, and actually we have a new another toy here. We've got the key light, the Elgato key light. But I'll be coming back to those things later.
Kevin's challenging you with a different up the nose picture.
Up the nose shot. That's nice, Kevin. It's so good to have you back, Kevin. All right.
Yeah, she's been growing it out, Rose. The hair is a little unwieldy.
I think it's fabulous. It's a little
it's-
big today.
It's a little better with that, what do you call that plastic thing you put in your hair?
The headband? I've got the
Yeah,
headband
headband.
on.
That's what I'm saying. It's better with that.
Oh, yeah, it just falls down my face otherwise. All right. Let's do a test playback here. Make sure people can hear audio.
That's quiet.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Why would it be quiet? There's nothing about it that would make it quiet.
Play it again. Is it quiet in the chat room? That playback, or do you even hear it? Well, actually, I'm only listening in the chat room. So
Can't
you
hear
must
the music at all. Oh. Let's think.
Why am I hearing it? I'm in Discord.
You're in Discord?
And I muted my...
They're right. It wasn't in YouTube Live Input. There we go.
Oh, I didn't mute Mimo Live. I just brought it down. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I should go back to Mimo Live.
Yeah.
Okay,
all
now
right.
I'm in Mimo Live. Okay, now you should hear playback.
Yes! We have playback.
Boy, these things are tinny. I'm sad. I asked for these headphones for Christmas, and they are not going to get a good review. Mike Potter recommended them. Maybe I'll ask him whether he has any tricks for getting them to stay in your ear so that they sound good. All right. Well, I think we are ready to go.
Oh,
this
did
is going
you-
to be mostly listener stuff. Yes?
Did you publish the show?
I did.
Ah, I never got
Didn't
it.
I?
Okay. There it is. Okay. Good.
My able assistant, Cracker Jack. Okay, I'm muting you, dear.
All right.
All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, December 27th, 2020, and this is show number 816. Well, I sure hope you all had a safe, if quiet, holiday this year. Thanks to the kindness of the Nosilla castaways, I was able to really relax all week long. We've got a first-time review by Lewis Butler. You may know him as L. Butler in Slack. Then we've got a great review by Frank Petrie, followed by the ever-prolific podcaster Jill from the North Woods. Then Alistair Jenks is back in the house with a review of his own, and I even sneak in a little tiny tip for you. And we've got the second half of Security Bits from last week, all about oblivious DNS over HTTPS, also known as ODO, and how it's going to dramatically increase all of our privacy. Well, I got to be on the Daily Tech News Show on December 21st with Tom and Sarah and Roger. The news may be a bit stale by now, but we had a lot of fun talking about a couple of odd new phone inventions like the One Plus with a back that can change color and ZTE's underglass selfie camera that by all reports is pretty awful. I got to talk a bit about my experience with Apple Fitness Plus, then Tom put the SolarWinds breach in perspective by walking us through a Foreign Policy magazine article that walks through how much damage was done with a single data breach back in 2012. This one was all about figuring out who our spies were. Anyway, maybe that wasn't the fun part of the show, but it was a highly informative episode. Check out Daily Tech News Show at dailytechnewsshow.com, or better yet, subscribe to it in your podcatcher of choice. All right, let's get started with our fabulous listener reviews. All right, you know what? Last week, since everything went in the pooper, and it'll probably go in the pooper again, I didn't do a chapter mark for security bits, which is the worst thing not to do.
And that was a really good security bits. Pretty extensive too.
You like that one?
Yeah, that's the one that covered the what was the hack that the big one.
Yeah.
Clearwater. No.
I don't know why, but I have trouble remembering the name.
Clearwater. No. Come on, chat room, you can help us.
All right, I'm going to try this again. I didn't do the chapter marks right. Okay, H. Copy.
Creedence Clearwater. That's it. Creedence Clearwater Revival.
What is it called? Clear Solar
Clear
Winds.
and present danger.
Yeah, it doesn't
Solar
even
winds.
have clear in it.
Where did I get clear?
I don't know. All right, I'm going to give you a little teaser of...
Before you do, I don't know if you wanted to mention it, but John wanted to know what the headphones were that you're not very happy with. Do you care to disclose that yet?
They're maybe you could
Here,
look them up for
I'll
me.
show him a picture. I'll show him a picture.
Well,
They are these, the MX Pro, MX1, made by Modular Musician in-ear monitors, and they're not so good in terms of audio quality. I mean, they're fine in terms of how they fit in the ear and the look, and that's part of what their function is. But the sound quality
super tinny.
Yeah, tinny and low
Oh,
volume.
JF is here. Hi,
Hey, JF.
He says SolarWinds123 is my new master password for 1P. Hey, JF, scroll up to look at the pictures I posted. Steve got me a little present.
Christmas present.
Just a little present. A little. All right, I'm going to check this intersection here, and I did do a chapter mark. Thank you, Kevin. Listener reviews.
Hi, this is listener Lewis here to tell you about geofency.
Yep, he got me the Pro XDR. He's a crazy man. Like I said earlier, I think he just did it because he wanted my LG 5K display. He has more K than I do.
We want all your Ks.
All right, I'm going to do a little bit right after Lewis here.
$5. I have been using it for years and have paid for it once.
Well, hey, thanks, Lewis. You know, I've never had a job where I needed to bill my time by the hour, but geofency sounds like a perfect app to give you the metrics that you'd need to do that. I think it meets the criteria that Tim Verporten set when he said, it does one thing and does it well. I'm sure... Jeez. Okay, try that again.
It for years and have paid for it once.
Hey, thanks, Lewis. That was great. You know, I've never had a job where I needed to bill my time by the hour, but geofency sounds like a perfect app to give you the metrics you'd need to do that. I think this meets the criteria that Tim Verporten set one time when he used to refer to apps as doing one thing and doing them well. Jeez, don't wing it. Just read your copy.
I have been using it for years and have paid for it once.
Well, that was great, Lewis. I really appreciate your review. I've never had a job where I needed to bill my time by the hour, but geofency sounds like the perfect app to give you the metrics you'd need to do that. I think it meets the criteria that Tim Verporten set when he said, it does one thing and does it well. I sure hope you do more reviews soon, Lewis. I can't believe this was your first review out of the gate. This was great. Well, when they made Frank Petrie, they broke the mold. This time, unlike some of his earlier contributions, which were meant more to entertain than inform, Frank brings us a product review that's very compelling. All right. Go give Frank's chapter mark right there.
Did you? Okay, good.
I am chapter marking right now.
Kevin's right on it, like he didn't miss a beat.
Is Wheels here?
I don't think I see.
Any Wheels?
I don't see Frank. Yeah, I don't see him.
That means I don't have to play this.
Come on, Allison.
I'm just teasing. Hey, here's something fun. If you go to the so this is the Chargin Airfoams Proactive. If you go to the website link, there's a video, and they're showing a guy like jogging, wearing, these are ear tips for your AirPods Pro, and they show this guy jogging, running up this set of stairs. And it's actually at a beach right down the street from our house, actually in our hometown. So that was kind of funny. I keep meaning to tell Frank that. Let me check this transition here. Entertain and inform. Frank brings us a product review that's very compelling.
When I went to film school...
Oh, shoot, he's not feeling well. That's too bad. Won't make fun of him then. All right. Moving on. All right. About to go. All right. Here we go.
A worthy investment? Undeniably.
Well, the Chargin Airfoams Pro, it's hard to say. Those sound really terrific, Frank. I did buy some foam ear tips for my AirPods Pro, and I really don't favor them, so I think I'll give the Chargins a try. You sound like you have a lot more experience and understanding of some of the audio things than I do, and so I would certainly take your advice on this, so I think I'll go check those out. By the way, here's a fun fact to know and tell. There's a video on Chargin's website showing a guy jogging up some stairs on a beach, going up above the ocean, going up above the beach up these stairs, and that is actually in my town, right where I live. So it was kind of cool to see that. So now I definitely have to give the Chargins a try. All right, now it's time for Jill. We're gonna listen to all of Jill's.
Yay, Jill!
Yes, always yay, Jill. Because I'm like halfway through the podcast. No, it's only 10 minutes so far. I'm lying. I love Jill's reviews. All right, so this is Jill. Jill does such a great job. She gives me great screenshots. She gives me, and she bundles it all up in a nice zip file, so I've got it all together. So let's go right here. See that? So now I definitely have to give the chargins a try.
Hi, this is Jill from the Northwood.
That was too long of a gap for Jill. I can't wait that long. Give the chargins a try.
Hi, this is Jill from the Northwoods. I wanted to do a review for the podcast app that I use to listen to all the podcasts. If you haven't heard, I'm quite the addict when it comes to podcasts. I subscribe to about 144 podcasts. I keep my eye on another 177 podcasts in case there's a topic I'm interested in. I tried a number of apps because I love podcasts so much. I wanted to make sure that this was great. After trying app after app after app, I couldn't find any of them I liked, but then I ran into iCatcher. I cannot begin to tell you how much I love this podcasting app. It is the ultimate app if you just want to create a playlist and have it play your podcast, or you want to be the ultimate control freak and control every aspect of what podcast you hear next. Now, of course, it has some basic features that are there, settings about downloads so that you can say how often should it check for new podcasts? Should it do it over Wi-Fi? Or should it use cellular activity? Should it limit itself between this time or that time? And so it has a lot of settings that you'd expect to have when it comes to a podcasting app. You can subscribe to a podcast just like normal, but you can also say that you want to have this podcast on your list, but you're not subscribed. You can also add a custom feed if you happen to just know the RSS feed. So it's also great when testing your own podcast to make sure that the podcast uploaded just like you hoped it would. The Apple Watch can also act as a remote, which includes playlist, player options, loudness. You can also use Siri commands to skip ahead or jump in time. It's really great. You could also send podcasts to your watch. You have some custom options when it comes to what the screen looks like, how bright it is, how the badges work. I mean, I cannot begin to tell you that almost every aspect of the software has some kind of setting. And you can even change the art of the podcast in case you don't like the art that they picked, or maybe you don't want people to know what it is that you're listening to. Maybe it's something very political and you kind of want it just to be something very blank and generic. It will also interrupt the podcast if your GPS app has something to say. One of my favorite newer features is that it's always had the playback speed. I'm a 1.7x girl myself. I love listening to podcasts fast, but it has pitch correction on it, so it doesn't sound like everyone's a chipmunk. It has a sleep timer, and you can also toggle continuous playback. You can also back up the database and restore it to a new device, which was great when I got my new iPhone. Everything was right there. You can also back up your phone list to iCloud or transfer media to another device. It will show your files in iTunes that will let you pull off those files onto your regular main computer. So these are all nice features, and it's great to see all the different things that you can do. It can import podcasts from other apps. It can also sync between devices through iCloud, and there's an experimental feature that will actually delete podcasts off your other devices if you listen to them. So that's really handy to have as well. And all these features are great, but it's where the playlist and the podcast options that make iCatcher so magical. If you create a playlist, you give it a name. You can also give it an icon. You can also decide if you want it to include all podcasts by default, or should it create an empty list and you will add podcasts to them. If you decide that you want to include it in the list, you can put the entire podcast in the list or just some episodes. Do you want the podcast to be downloaded? Do you want them to be streaming? Do you want to limit them by date? I have a playlist that only shows my podcast from the last 7 days. That way I can stay current, and older podcasts go into a backlog list. And then you can decide if you want the podcast in your playlist to be under a certain time or over a certain time. And this is where it gets real nitpicky, but I tend to like the small 5-minute podcasts when I get up in the morning because my attention span is that of a gnat. But by the time I'm doing housework or mowing my lawn, I like those podcasts that are over an hour long. I hate when I have little tiny podcasts and I'm doing housework and I keep switching topics all the time. It can protect the podcast downloads, which means it won't delete it off your phone when you're done listening to it. And sometimes I keep podcasts that either need a special attention from me or I want to remember what they said. Maybe I'm going to talk about a similar topic about that. So I can protect the podcast, and then I have a player list that is just made up of protected podcasts that I want to listen to when I have the proper attention span to do so. It has many different sorting options so that you can sort the podcast. You can do it manually. You can have them play random podcasts. Of course, there's newest or oldest, shortest or longest, A to Z, Z to A. The file size is the largest or the smallest. And you can think about any sorting option you want, and it will sort it in that option. And you can change it based on which list you're listening to. So sometimes I like to listen to the shortest podcasts again in the morning, but later I want to listen to them by date. You can also manually support your podcast either by giving them a rank priority so that your most important podcasts come first, or you can actually manually drop and drag your podcast into the right order. I will tell you that that's a step too far for me. I might be a bit of a control freak when it comes to my podcast, and because of how many I listen to, I have to be, but I don't manually sort, nor do I give them priority. Now, the next part is probably my favorite part about iCatcher, is the podcast properties. So the first thing you see when you go into the properties of a podcast is you see the feed, you see what genre it is, you see where the file feed is located. You can also subscribe to things or undo the subscription. You can also sort inside a particular podcast, which means each podcast itself is almost like a playlist all by itself. So if I want to listen to all the podcasts in this particular area, I can just do that. It has its own sort and everything else. This is what's really interesting about it to me, is that I can also say that I want it to include or ignore podcasts based on certain words. It will look through key words in the title and either include or exclude the podcast based on those key words. For example, there's a podcast I listen to and they have a product I don't use. So every time they have a podcast episode that talks about that product, I'm not very interested in it. And so I exclude podcasts with that in the title from my downloads. But here's where it gets really great for me. You can adjust the artwork, as I mentioned, but you can also adjust the speed for each podcast. Many podcast apps will do speed, but you sort of set one speed and all the podcasts play at that particular speed. Some people talk faster than others. I can't even listen to my own podcast at any speed because I talk too fast already. But other people are very slow and very methodical, and I like to listen to their podcasts at 2x. I get to decide podcast by podcast how fast I listen to it. It also has beginning and end offsets, which means that if a person has a long intro song at the beginning of their podcast, I can skip the entire song. And if at the very end, people will talk about ads, you can also have it cut short. So this will allow you to start it late, cut it short, and that makes it much more efficient, especially when you're listening to way too many podcasts like I am, to get podcasts either started later or ended sooner. So this app is important to me, and it's absolutely the thing I do the most. It is free in the iOS App Store. There is no Android version of it, but you can leave a tip if you really like his work. And I've given him a number of tips just because, again, this app is so important to me. You can visit his website at joeisanerd.com. That's all one word. Or visit iCatcher in the App Store. So as you can see, this podcast listening app is great. It allows you to have ultimate control over your podcast. Or if you don't want to have control and you just want it to be a regular podcast app, it does that too. And it's a darn nice one, even without setting all the different things that you can do. I love it. I hope you enjoyed the review. We all know that we're all fans of podcasts, so I hope you really liked it.
That was fantastic.
Yes, it was.
Behind your back, Jill, Steve was saying nice things to me about you in a private chat. So,
I
what
do
was the
like
guy's
Jill's style.
yeah, she's awesome. You have the attention span of a gnat.
Of a gnat.
What is it? Got? Joe is a nerd. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So I'll just make a quick correction on that. You did. Joe is a nerd with lost money on Jill. Jill, you know, he made more money on you than the $2.99 it turns out to cost, right? All right, I am going to record a little bit here.
All right.
And mute Steve.
I love it. I hope you enjoyed the review. We all know that we're all fans of podcasts, so I hope you really liked it.
Well, let me give one quick correction. When Jill got iCatcher, it was free, so she tipped the developer more than once, like she said. Now it's a grand sum of $2.99. You know, Joe as a nerd would have lost money had he had that price before with what Jill was giving him. You know, I had to laugh when Jill said even she isn't crazy enough to insist on manually reordering podcasts for her playlist. And you know what? That's the one thing I do use all the time with my shows. iCatcher sounds really cool, and for only $3, it's a no-brainer for me to give it a try. I'm an Overcast user right now, but unlike most people, I don't love it. I tolerate it. So I think I'm going to give iCatcher a try and see if maybe I like it better. Thanks for the great review, Jill. I hope you keep them coming. All right, I'm actually going to do a review. Whew. And this is a tiny tip. Actually, do I have glare on my glasses right now?
Slight amount on the very upper part. You're just bordering. If you tilt your head up a little bit, there, it's full glare up there.
So
but
if I
right
stare at the light,
where you normally look, it's just a slight sparkle on the top of your lenses.
So, another comment on these in-ear monitors. At least they're really uncomfortable.
Looking forward to that review.
Jill says the smiling part on the voice is because Allison told me that was something I started doing and she liked it, so I'm trying. Yeah, smiling is good. The other thing is, what was his name? The great Ron David, who is a very famous voiceover artist who you would have heard on Wings of War on National Geographic Channel, on Nat Geo. Anyway, he told me, talk with your hands. So you'll see when I'm talking, I'm going like this. He says it makes you more animated when you're recording, when you're sitting alone in front of a mic. So that's what I do.
I think that's for people that would normally talk with their hands. They tend not to when they're talking into a mic. So it stunts their normal speech pattern. Yeah, but I don't tend to talk with my hands much. So I'm not sure it would help someone who doesn't normally if you all of a sudden start talking with your hands and you normally don't.
I suppose.
I think it's just, talk like you normally talk. This kind of thing, so you can get your...
Maybe you would be more animated if you talked with your hands, though, Steve.
Oh, boy.
You walked right into that one. Maybe I'll try they gave you some sponge foam. Oh, you know what? That's interesting. The foam tips they give you is Comply. Those are the ones that I said I bought when I was talking about Frank's review. I bought Comply. Max noise isolation, superior audio. I'll probably take too long to put those on. But if I get done early, which I think I will, I may swap those out and see if they're more comfortable, because these are really starting to hurt. People at work laugh. I like it. All right. I probably want to do my own chapter marker.
Jill's comment, I totally do that. I sit in conference rooms alone on calls, waving my arms all over the place. I can just see it.
All right. Let's see, back over here. Mashed down a bunch of keys because Mike told me to. And there we go. Back out now, Stevie P. I like it.
Oh, what is that you're drinking, Allison? Rose might appreciate it.
Lindsay will. Oh, Rose will. I am drinking the rest of a Prisoner Chardonnay. And unlike the glass he poured for you, Lindsay, mine does not have orange juice in it, too. And hadn't been sitting in the refrigerator for a day. So confused. She won't know how good it actually was. All right, here we go. Muting Steve. Oh, Tiny Tip music. I like this song.
Cue Tiny Tip music.
Before I go on other people's shows that have video, I like to take extra care to make sure everything looks really good. I launch Photo Booth on my Mac and I set the camera to be the one I'm going to be using. I use a Logitech C920 webcam, but to be honest, the one I had built into the LG 5K is just as good. For controlling the Logitech, I use the excellent menu bar the menu bar app Webcam Settings, and I apply a preset I've created to set white balance and exposure and zoom, and to turn off the autofocus that always tells people you're on a Logitech C920 because it bounces in and out of focus. Anyway, Webcam Settings is perfect for that. This week, before going on Daily Tech News Show, I was setting up just as I've described, but I noticed that there was a glare on my glasses. I'm sure you've seen this lovely look, and perhaps you've struggled with it yourself. In my case, the anti-reflective coating on my glasses was making the glare green, which was a really nice effect. I tried flipping my Mac from light mode to dark mode in System Preferences, and the glare was reduced quite a bit, but it wasn't completely gone. My desktop was dark, Slack turned dark, Discord became very dark, but I had Safari open to be able to read the show notes. Now, Safari doesn't override the web developer's design, and so the colors of the Google Sheet I was looking at were still white, even though the interface for Safari was dark. I installed a free extension for Safari called Dark Reader. This has been around a really long time, but anyway, I enabled that extension, and Google Sheets instantly switched to white text on a dark background, and immediately the bright glare on my glasses was completely gone. No green glare. If you wear glasses and you're on video and would like a better look than your eyes being obscured by glare from your monitor for your coworkers or Zoom-based drinking partners, you might want to give the $4.99 Dark Reader for Safari extension a try. That was a tiny tip. Do you polish the sausage grinder? Oh, do I polish the sausage grinder? No. Oh, it was still good, Lindsay, after a day in the fridge and some orange juice poured in it? I noticed a typo in this. And shot the colors. What does that mean? Safari doesn't override the web developer's design and shot the colors. What does that even mean? Oh, hang on, you're muted, Steve. I don't hear you.
That may be a technical term.
What do you think? What do you think that was supposed to say?
Someone in the chat room may know.
Shot the colors. No, I'm the one who wrote it.
Oh. What did you mean, Allison?
I don't have any idea.
Wait, where did you? I shot the colors. Oh,
yeah,
and
okay. So I said Safari doesn't override the web developer's design and shot the colors. Change the colors. I'm going to change it to change the colors.
Shift? JF
Shift.
JF thinks shift.
That's pretty good, yeah. That makes it sound like I knew what I was
talking
about. Yes, that's it. Shift.
Yeah,
it was just
shift.
a typo.
It was a technical shift.
All right, Rose and JF both say it, so it shall be.
So it's
said.
shift. From this point onward.
All right. We've got
whether it ever was, we will never know.
This is not going to be a late show, by the way. I'm going to let you out of class early because now we're going
It
to
is the
go.
holidays.
It is. I'm excited people are here, though. This is fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Alistair Jenks comes in next. You don't
Is
want
Alistair...
your own voice after Alistair.
Say again? Oh, yeah, no. Is Alistair here? I don't think he is he?
I don't think he is.
It is tomorrow.
Check this transition.
Okay.
Great review, Jill. I'm manually reordering podcast for her play. Jill, I hope you keep them coming. before I go on other people's shows, it's
Perfect.
a little long, but will you allow it?
That's perfect.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, that was quick. Now let's hear how quick Alistair comes in here. Extension, a try.
Hello, NosillaCastaways. It's Alistair Jenks here from New Zealand once again. I recently mentioned in the NosillaCast Slack that I use Text Expander to expand DMC embroidery cotton numbers to the official colour names. Alison asked why I did this, and when I explained, she put me on the hook for this contribution.
All right.
In a nutshell,
That's proof that no good deed goes unpunished. He brought it up, and I told him he had to do a review. Steve, you just told JF that bumper was from Apple, but I don't think it was. Wasn't that one of the Digital Juice ones?
I don't think so. Well, okay, it could have been. I don't get the Digital Juice subscription any longer, and I thought we got
Right.
that.
But it's called Walking Tall _Marimba _10. And the Security Bits one is DJ A Cold World _10. So I think this was one.
It may have been. Yeah, JF, I could be wrong on that.
So explain to him what Digital Juice was.
It was a a royalty-free music music purchase service. So you could basically buy music packs, and they had a proprietary application that allowed you to not only, basically use those royalty-free, use those jingles and actually full-length 3-minute or so songs. They had versions that were 10, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes of each song. And then they let you play with each track in the song. So there was the voice, there were various instruments, and you could selectively edit those inputs to the song and remove or add. So it was really cool, and you could be a little bit creative in how you use this royalty-free music. Unfortunately, they dropped that model. Now it's subscription only. So I stopped subscribing.
And you have all the DVDs though with all the audio on it,
but
right?
it no longer is accessible because it doesn't work with, like, I think 3 generations ago of the Mac OS. I can't use it.
Oh, because
they didn't keep
their app to get into it, and
you need
remix it?
their proprietary app to access the songs. Now I did rip several of them and keep what I had done, but many of them are tailored, and they're 10, 30, 60 seconds or full length. So it's it's a small subset of what was available with the full service.
How much is that subscription?
I would have to go back and look. I don't think it has the same features. I don't think, for instance, you can pull various tracks and mix and match. I think you may be fixed to given songs, maybe a varying length. I should check into that more. I didn't think I would get my money's worth out of it.
Okay. Well, we've sure had fun with it.
Yeah.
All right.
It was good.
I am going to actually do a little recording here. We're going to be
right.
close to bringing it home, though. We're almost done. Oh, that's beautiful, Kevin. An example is this angel on our tree downstairs with me. Oh, that is really pretty. She cross-stitched that? That looks like embroidery almost. Oh, Jill. Jill's been knitting. Now she's going to start cross-stitch. All right. We could have a whole cross-stitch thing in the NosillaCast. We've got a lot of cross-stitchers. Okay, I'm going to record here.
though meticulous checking is never fun, and it seems never 100% successful.
Well, I don't care if it's successful or not, Alistair. I love listening to your voice, and I hate having my voice heard immediately after yours. But I love the combination of nerdery with the Affinity Suite combined with crafting. Turns out there's a lot of crafty people who listen to the NosillaCast. And even Kevin, big in Virginia, is saying he knows what DMC floss is. So this was definitely appropriate, and it proves that no good deed goes unpunished. By mentioning something cool, you had to do a review. You know what? Look at the blog post for this, guys, because it's really worth it to see the delightful little houses that Ellie cross stitches and the kits that they make together to really appreciate how cool the work that they both do on this project. All right. We need some security bits music. And then we're going to do, what did I put him down there? Save and add a chapter mark. Oh, I didn't do a chapter mark for Alistair. That was a close one.
Good call. Thank you, Kevin.
All right. And copy link. Copy. And then thank Mike. Thank you, Mike. Every single time. I will never stop thanking Mike for how awesome that is. All right, now we're going to do security bits here. Let's drag in some music, some audio here. T. Now the thing is, I have to keep using Hindenburg forever. I can never change my mind and try another tool, right? You are still welcome. Good. Now that's interesting. Oh, you are full screen on this. So the orange highlighted track is my recording of Bart, and it looks like he's peeking there, but his recording of him is not. That is unusual. Usually it's the other way around. This is good, so I'm going to drag him. This makes it definitely worth it that he gave me his recording, so I'll get rid of me there, or him there and me there.
Here's the double ender in action.
It's very exciting, very exciting. Week, huh?
So, Al,
did indeed.
What's wrong?
Did you put a chapter mark for this one in?
Nope. Should I?
Let's try it. It might work.
Fine. All right. All right. Let's see it in action. Steve likes to show it in action. Here we go. All right. Go over here. All those things. And then hold on all the keys. Whoops. Copy link. Copy. Watch the chapter mark come in. Nothing up my sleeves. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, but I got to check something. Well, it's that time of the week. Yeah, good. All right, so now let's expand this out a little bit. We want to go right about there. It's right where Steve likes it. Come on. Nope, not there. There. All right, let's check this. Project. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for security bits with Bart.
I'd say so.
Boy, we had a marathon session last week, huh?
We did indeed. I wasn't sure what you were going to brand this separate recording, but yeah, we can call it a security bits.
Yeah, well,
even if it is singular, it's a bit.
Yeah, this is a security bit. I asked Bart if he could explain the latest, what is it called, ODOH that I've been hearing about and in the news, and I thought maybe it'd be a good segment for separate security bits for this holiday week.
Indeed. So,
all right, that looks like that's in good alignment. Go to the end here. All right. And then I think I'm going to tease that I've got 3 people. What have I got for? I've got 3 queued up for next week. Hopefully these people come through. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. All right. So we got an hour-long show out of that. Sweet.
Wow.
Okay, muting Steve. Whoop, sorry. Go ahead.
That was a lot of listener contribution. We should thank them all. Thank you.
Yes, I did.
Not only listeners,
them all.
but chat room participants. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. Oh, Jill, you made that? That's cool. Probably while listening to 75 podcasts, right? Here's a fun thing. Have you noticed that when you're stitching, when you're doing that kind of a craft thing, you actually have imprinted what you were listening to when you were doing that cross stitch or that knitting or crocheting or whatever it is. It gets imprinted into the fabric. I have definitely noticed that. We were watching something awful while I was doing a baby towel for Kennedy. What was it? It was something just awful. It was some like murder thing. Something Steve made me read.
I have to say, Lindsay just side channeled me with So glad you guys love those headphones that I got you.
Oh, no, Steve bought me mine.
Yeah, but she bought me mine.
Yeah, Lindsay bought you her, but it was my fault. We can all blame Mike Potter. And the worst part is I accidentally bought Steve a pair of the headphones too after telling Lindsay she should buy them for Steve. So, oh, you agree
Wow.
with me 100%, Linz? Definitely. Yeah, it's crazy how that happens. All right, I need to do this and do this. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody again who helped make this show happen. This was really fantastic. Thank you again to Lewis and Frank and Jill and Alistair. And next week, believe it or not, Jill has a week in the life of an Apple Watch, kind of like the day in the life of an Apple Watch that I did before. And I believe Jeff Butts is going to come in with something about the Connecticut Raspberry Pi Extreme. Hope he comes through with that. And Caleb Fong has something he's cooking up, and he's always great for a good review. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun next week. And I don't plan on doing a whole lot of work between now and the new year. But that is going to wind us up for this week. Don't forget to send in your dumb questions. You must have dumb questions about your new toys you got for Christmas, new applications, something you think everybody else already knows, but you just don't know yet. That's what qualifies as a dumb question. You can send those in by emailing me at allison@podfeet.com. And you can also follow me on Twitter @podfeet. Remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com. You want to become a patron of the Podfeet podcast? You go to podfeet.com/Patreon. You want to maybe do a one-time donation? You would do that by going to podfeet.com/PayPal. And if you want to join in the conversation with everybody in the NosillaCast ways, you can do it in one of two places. You can do it in our Slack at podfeet.com/Slack, and you can do it in our Facebook group at podfeet.com/Facebook. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, and we're delighted that Kevin is finally back full-time to monitor me and tell me what I'm doing wrong during the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening, and stay subscribed. Yay!
Good show, Podfeet. It's a wrap.
Thank you. I didn't do any work.
Yeah. Good show, chat room, and listeners.
Definitely. Oh, yeah, Sandy's work is just gorgeous.
Well,
I want to quilt someday.
I can see a pillow right behind you there with some of Sandy's fine artwork, right next to the child.
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah, that's from Sandy.
And that's just a piece of it.
Sausage is done for the week. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's a good point. Nothing broke.
Yeah. Oh.
Why didn't it break?
That's a good point. Yeah. What did we do differently, if anything?
I don't know. We wore these headphones. Well, I did.
You
I
did.
got a new monitor. You got a new monitor. Who knows? Sausage paws. Oh, Jill says, Happy New Year's. Thank you again, Allison, for the gift this year of a thing I will do forever. She found her voice. Nothing broke.
Yes.
It's because of the new monitor. It's an after Christmas miracle. I like it. All right. Well, it is 5:50, and I'm going to let everybody out of class early because we are done. I am ready to ship this product here.
Let's do it.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye, Rose. Bye, Lindsay.
Good night,
All right,
Grace.
hang us up, Steve.